Monkmode, welcome back. Hi Thumos, hope you're having a great Sunday. Today we're talking about monk mode, the monk mode lifestyle. I want to break it down for you because I see a lot of people getting confused when they hear about monk mode. They're not sure what it is. So it's a set of principles. I've come up with seven principles that I live by, seven principles that I believe are crucial in this day and age. Because there's a lot of uncertainty, especially being a young man. You know, you may get down. I get down. I get frustrated. I deal with uncertainty. And I believe that when you decide to take on these seven principles, that it can clear a lot of that up. And what I really want you guys to have is a grip on life. And of course, we can't control everything. But we can control ourselves. We can make ourselves strong. We can make ourselves capable of handling the severity of life, the toughness, to combat the suffering and all of the anxiety that we may feel. And I believe there's things that you can do, man. You're not powerless. And you can rise up out of any bad situation. If you're stuck in here, you can find a way out. If you're feeling like you're just low status, you're going through some stuff, man. I'm telling you, you can rise up. You can make things better. You can be a leader. You can help people. All right, so let's talk. The coronavirus seems to be making people go monk mode even when they don't know what monk mode is, or they don't want to go monk mode. But it's got a lot of people going monk mode. Now's a good time to do it, man. So maybe you can start doing this for the next 30 days. So let's dive in. Hear me out here. This is the monk mode lifestyle. The first one is your training. Now, before you jump off the video, I'm already training. Look, training is one of those things that is not supposed to be just about it's not about your ego. It's not about getting a pair of abs so that you look good and you're always chasing girls and whatnot. Training is supposed to be a staple, whether that be cardio, weight training, bodybuilding, or calisthenics, whatever. You should be training as a man. You should not hold a lot of fat on your body, and if you are fat, you need to lose the fat. And if you're skinny and you're weak, then you need to become stronger, okay? We'll go into ways of doing that, but you should start to tune your mind to that. Start doing your own research on how to make yourself strong or to lose excess fat. When you make training a staple of your life and you start building muscle, you start becoming stronger, what's going to happen is there's a halo effect. There is a emotional response that your body has from movement, from becoming what it can be. As men, we're meant to be strong. We're not supposed to be weak. Okay, we're not supposed to be immobile. We're supposed to be able to move, supple. We're also supposed to be able to lift things. And the weight training is going to provide this steady, ritualistic discipline when it comes down to getting up, going to the gym, or working out, going for the run. You're going to get in the habit of doing these things. You're going to get in the habit of eating whole foods, trying to get away from the processed food. And why it's so crucial to have training as a principle here is because there's just so much stuff to do today. Like there's bars everywhere, fast food. There's so much you could be doing. And training acts as an anchor for your life. If you get training down, you're entering monk mode blazing, all right? Full speed ahead. And you're going to see your body change. You're going to feel more confident. You're actually going to be like sharper because your mind and your body are connected, okay? Don't get that twisted. They are one. If you don't work out the body, the mind suffers. Lack of motion is lack of positive emotion, okay? So movement is key here. Strength is also key. energy. That's what we're going for. We're making ourselves a weapon. We have to be strong to deal with the chaos of life. So do not skip out. I honestly think that the monk mode lifestyle resembles, there's some similarities between bodybuilding lifestyle. Now, you're not a bodybuilder, but if you pay attention to people that are competitive, what you see is a life that has a couple of things: training, eating, and recovery. Okay? Those are, without thinking about it, you just do those things. So if you're doing those things, you automatically start to feel better and you see your body change. People treat you differently. You feel confident in your own skin. That's that. Better mate selection. Nothing else needs to be said. You should be training. If you're not, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. And if any of you need help, by all means, just leave me a comment. I don't know what you're dealing with. I'm sure plenty of the monks in this community, we can help you out, all right? So the second one is learning. You should be a student of life. You should be one that cares to know how to know about life. Now, not everything. A lot of intellectuals these days, we just want to be smart for our ego. We want to seem smart to our friends or anyone we talk to or on the forums. Learning should be a light. A book should be a light in the palm of your hand. A man that reads and learns and studies is going to be able to get out of his situation and change things up. Hell is knowing the truth too late and being ignorant, walking in the dark, walking with your eyes closed. That's when you get a lot of suffering. And if you think about what books are, it's from authors that have spent their life. Some of these books are their life's work, and we're able to read everything they put in there and to become a little bit wiser and to have a bit more insight into how maybe we should conduct ourselves and how we should live and what we can do to make the world better. And the hunger, the curiosity for learning is going to give you a lot of hope. Okay, that's the best way I can put it. Now, it shouldn't be one where you're worried about just consuming a bunch of books and that's it, and a bunch of YouTube videos. But take a look at your life and think about what you want to do, and then go search for that. Go search for how to get out of your current situation or how to make your life better. Be curious. Learning is going to take you so far. It's going to bridge the gap between the suffering and being in a better place. Okay? Not many people read these days, and it's a shame because it actually will work out your mind and you'll feel sharper. Like when you speak, you'll have more of an abundance of verbs and adjectives to pull from. Your vocabulary will expand. You'll be able to formulate sentences much clearer. You'll have an understanding. Your mind, you use it or you lose it, man. Okay? When it comes to your studies, if you're trying to learn a special skill, you should be in there. The Monkmode lifestyle is to go in. It's not just habits that you do for the sake of doing. It's to get yourself filled with energy and vitality, that way you can sink your hands into something and you can begin to create. And you have a calm, clear mind. You have power in your body. Okay? It is the way. The third thing is your spirituality. You want it to formulate and cultivate a spiritual lifestyle. You want to tune your mind to things above. And when you do this, when you take time, it really is a sacrifice of some time and becoming aware and present. And when you do that, I would say in the morning, to cultivate that gratitude, that gracious mindset. Thank you, God, for this life. Taking a moment, thank you, your will be done in my life. I don't have complete control. This is a huge part of self-development that I think, honestly, if you get all of these right and you leave this one out of acknowledging some higher power, and that you will you will feel very unfulfilled. There may be a void in your life. And I've done it. I've gone years, you try to do all of this stuff and you wonder what's wrong. And it's a beautiful thing when you can cultivate and understand, you're not in this alone, man. We don't know everything that's going on. So spirituality is a key. It really is. There's a story of the prodigal son. And this is the Sunday fellowship, so I think this is a proper time for this. But the prodigal son leaves his father. He takes the inheritance. And he goes out, he spends it on women, he spends it on drink. And eventually he runs out of money. Right? He tries to make his life on his own. And then the prodigal son says, you know what, my dad's gonna hate me, but I'm feeling low right now. I gotta go back home. See if he'll help me out. And so he goes back home. And his father, to the contrary of what he believed, actually welcomes him in. He says, son, I'm so glad to see you. Welcome back. I missed you so. And he hugs him and he wraps him in robes and he has a feast for him. And his older brother that stayed home says, Dad, why are you doing this? He laughed. He went and blew all the money. He sinned. He was this and that. And the father says, son, I'll love you forever. You have all my belongings, everything I own. But your son was lost. And now he's found. He's returned. He's come back. And many of us, we set out on our own journey when we were young, 18, 20, 21. And we go to school and we partake in the world. And as young men with young minds, we're susceptible to a lot of influence. And more than ever, there's a lot of influence, unseen. Things are working, we're being pulled this way and that way. Coming back to a spiritual place with eyes on God provides another anchor, another focal point, something to focus on, something to ground you in this life, in your reality, whenever you're suffering, whenever you're confused, to see the bigger picture. All right, you come back home. You were lost and now you're found. We all get lost on this journey. All right, so cultivate a faith. Faith inherently is just believing in something that cannot be proven. That's what it is. That's faith. So figure out in your life, if you find that there is a hunger maybe for a deeper meaning or purpose, well then acknowledge it. Okay, acknowledge it. The fourth one is your financial. The financial is something that men these days is tricky, because most of us don't really want to work a 9 to 5. We don't want to do something that we hate. And we want to make a living that allows us to live outside of our work. Now, what's an amazing thing to find is something that combines your work and your life or your enjoyment. I think a big key here is to look at what you're doing that gives you flow. If you have a sense of flow in your life, and maybe it comes and goes, it's very rare, you find yourself in flow, you find yourself invigorated, I think that may be a key to the kingdom, a piece of the puzzle. If you can find something that gives you flow, it may not be what you do to get flow that provides income for your life, but it may be a key into what you need to do, or a piece of the whole. So maybe it's you find flow in guitar, or you find flow in teaching, or you find flow in writing. Maybe it's a key, or in a number of other things. I know many of us are seeking a passion. We're trying to find a passion, but I don't think that's the way. I think flow is a hint in the right direction, that you might be using this skill that you have that you partake in to get flow. You might actually use this one day, but it might not be just that. Like, you might not be just a great guitar player. It might be used to do something else. Or your writing may not be, you may not be a famous author. It may be writing for someone else or for something else, to do something else. So seek flow, or if you have any flow, try to find that. Be curious about, where is this pointing me? Where is this leading me? I also think that we should try to save and get ourselves, some, not just spend our money. We should try to use our money for things that we want to try to invest, as far as using our money not just to appear like we are having a lot of money, but to actually give ourselves more money, put our money to work. It's very easy to blow money and just to not be a good steward of your money. When it comes to money, I think that we should begin to try to learn about it. We should maybe try to start a business, and we should try to maybe do something that does provide some enjoyment, something that we're interested in, to learn a good skill. That way we have money in the future. We can provide a service. We can solve someone's problem. This should be something that you begin to think about as a young man, okay? And it's the curiosity. This is actually combined with this, and the learning is combined with everything. If you get stuck in any one of these, it's usually because the learning has stalled out. And you become complacent where everything else suffers. This is the light. This is the beacon. This is the vessel. Right? This is the mind, the mindset, the tuning the mind. This is the energy that you have, the economical, the economy, the power that you have to make moves, control your surroundings. And so this is important. It's something you need to think about. You don't get down, but you have so much energy to do whatever you want. Whether that's working a job now to get yourself out of this situation, working this, going to school, you can do it. You can do it. Not everything is forever. Some things are temporary. But be curious. Talk with your friends about this instead of, a show or something. Think about this more. Okay? Honor what you're going to school for. Learn the skill. Be valuable. Try to help other people. Okay? And I think by just putting this in the mind, then you're tuning yourself to seek that out. How do I do this? How do I create? Social. Many people, when they decide to go monk mode, they realize that they become lonely and isolated. And I believe that isolation is important up to a point, because humans are not supposed to be isolated. We're social creatures. Isolation for too long is dangerous. It puts you in here. We're meant to actually communicate with people in our surroundings. Something that you can do is simply go out and try to make eye contact with some people. Give a smile. Give an encouraging word. Say hello. If it's the cash register, if it's the mailman, if it's a guy next to you at the gym, hey, what's up, man? It's normal. And what's happening these days is we're getting away from that social communication, and we're thinking that's weird. It's weird to talk to random people. It's not, though. It's not weird. It's not weird to be a social creature. You don't always have to just go to a bar or a restaurant to be social, or a party. Social can be a way of living. And what happens is it impacts you. It actually, your body, man, something like we're meant to be social. Try to have good conversation. It's one of those ways that makes life worth living. A lack of conversation, a lack of talking to other people is not that fun for too long. And so you need this. To be sharp, you need social. You need to you need to have other people in your life. People that support you, people that you support, people that help, a sense of community, a sense of love. Maybe this is a woman, maybe it's a friend, but don't stray too far away from this, but realize that there should be a separation where it's not all the time. You don't always want to be social. And we can move to this, but you need the social. It's a balance between social and then also isolation, which is the time where you give yourself missions for your life. And the missions can be stuff that enhances the financial. The missions can be learning. Maybe it's learning, I'm going to learn more about training. I'm going to learn more about how to start a business, how to build this, what I have to do. The mission can be, well, I got to do something this week. I find that very powerful tip, to give yourself a weekly mission. And then to provide yourself a system to hit the goal. A system, a sort of a strategic plan. How am I going to do this? Instead of just having a mission and a goal, you got to have a system. You have to sort of be smart about it, play chess. And try to think yourself through it and see how are you going to accomplish this? Okay? Most of us, we give ourselves like this dream, and then we get filled with anxiety because we have no way of getting to the dream. We have no way of having checkpoints along the way. The Hot Wheels, you have no of those boosters that keep you going. We got to give ourselves a system, a mission, a system. And this is usually done in isolation. This is done the planning is done usually away from a lot of the noise. And the noise, though, has its place to get away from all of this and to refresh you, to give you that meaning in life. The social. The missions are important. Give yourself missions. Keep yourself accountable. Give yourself something to look forward to. Something to wake up to, instead of just meaningless. Because then life takes on this monotony, this boredom. Your mind is fresh. Your mind is powerful. You have a spirit of power, man. You're smart. You can do anything. Right? You got a lot of potential. And you have to let your mind work. In the boredom, I've noticed actually a lot of creativity comes from that. You'll find yourself having thoughts that you wouldn't have if you're always having noise, if you always have music, if you always have media, if you always have input, then the output suffers. It becomes more like the input. Whereas there's a lot of output that can come just from letting this thing emanate, from receiving from a deeper source. Honestly, you will notice that if you can just be okay with the boredom. I recommend some solitude every day. Okay? And the seventh thing that we must honor is the recovery. The recovery. This means time to recover. Sleep is at the spear point of this. It's at the forefront. To sleep is going to change your life. To sleep well will really change your life. It'll give you a sense of ease and calmness in really everything that you do. A lack of sleep can really affect you. And you should take like big precautions to make sure that the recovery is right. That you're getting enough sleep. Okay? Is the drinking worth it? Is the partying worth it? Is the night slept over the girls' house worth it? Is it all? You got to think to yourself, what do you need to do to sleep well? Your recovery when it comes to training. You're not going to grow unless you're recovering. You're not going to be prepared mentally and physically unless you recover. Your mind is going to be worn out, tired if you don't recover. Recovery also is a time to reward yourself. To get away from the constant learning. It's a time to get social, man. It's a time to read a book that you enjoy. Maybe to chill out, play some games. Maybe the recovery is eating a nice meal with your girlfriend. The lifestyle of Monkmode isn't supposed to be so rigid. Again, it's not a set of habits that you do for the sake of the habits themselves. It's a lifestyle that is supposed to invigorate you and create power and create a calmness. You're a man, and this is the lifestyle. When you do these things, it helps you get forward, go forward, move forward and upward, and become a better person, like a better man, like to make yourself get a grip on things. The recovery should be time away from the noise, though. The screen, like I said, I would say give yourself a real reward. A real reward. Something that you enjoy doing. Not just mindless. Okay, not just mindless, but relax, recover, and sleep. Please sleep good, because that is going to impact everything. When you're up and down some days, it's probably the sleep. Really. Make sure you're eating enough. That's a huge one. Getting enough calories, supplying your body with the right nutrients and the protein and the fats and the carbs enhances the training, the learning, the stamina. Recovery is huge. Make sure you're honoring the recovery. Slow down at night. Take the time. All right? This is the Monkmode lifestyle. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Okay? Hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, there's a lot of little things, obviously, that you can do. We talked about the LEAP method, limit ejaculation and pornography. I recommend checking your tempo throughout the day. When you find yourself getting filled with nervous energy, you're overly stimulated, overly excited, check the tempo. Come back down to baseline. Calm, grounded is the way. All right, there's a lot of things I recommend doing, but again, you don't just want to get stuck juggling them all. But as you'll go forward, you can do some different things. Okay, you can start to add these habits into your life. All right, if you want those habits, go ahead. I put them together in a spreadsheet for you, completely free. The Monkmode habits, check those out. But for the next month, let's focus on these 7 pillars. The 7 pillars: training, learning, spirituality, financial, being social, setting missions for ourselves, goals, systems, and recovery. All right, this lifestyle, maybe not if you do it just one day, is going to have a lot of benefit, but I guarantee you that if you begin to live this, then it becomes something that is powerful, and it becomes something where you get to control. Now all this chalk is getting in my throat, and I need a glass of water. So I'll see you guys very soon. Hope you're doing awesome. If you need my help, I'm here for you, bro and girls, and we'll talk soon. Peace.